All right, guys, so Myron here needs a couple toy soldier hats for a family photo tomorrow. So we're gonna teach you how to...
You think you could do a captain sword?
Okay, so we got a toy soldier hat, and we're gonna teach you how to make a captain sword. We're gonna try to get this done.
And I was hoping maybe 2 pop gun rifles.
Okay, all by tomorrow? Okay, so we're gonna teach you how to make a toy soldier hat, a sword, and some little pop gun rifles, okay? Stay tuned, we're gonna show you how we make it and take you along our journey. Here we go. Alright, so we're on our way to a couple stores to pick up everything we need. Hopefully we can find it all. We've got Home Depot, and then we need to find a craft store that's got corks.
Michael's maybe?
Michael's maybe, Joann's. We'll try a couple of places and see what we can find. Okay, so 3/4 inch PVC pipe. It's going to be the best bang for the buck to get the big long thing. But if you don't have room in your car or anything to cut it with, they have these already pre-cut 2-foot pieces. It'll cost a little bit more, but you already have it cut down into smaller sizes. So. So that'll be like our part that sits on top of the pop gun with the cork in the end of the PVC pipe. Obviously a bit longer than this, but then pop, right? So this is a 3/4 inch, which makes sense. It's 3/4 inch PVC pipe. And I think that refers to the interior diameter. So this is exterior diameter 3/4 inch, so it's a perfect fit. All right, so EVA foam is on our list. If you don't know what EVA foam is, it's actually all over the place, and it's a really cool material for being able to use to make craft projects. So you'll see it in, EVA foam floor mat tiles like this, just for like little kids' rooms or gym floor mat tiles and that kind of stuff. But the problem with these is they have a texture on one side, and so it makes it hard to be able to use because you only use one side. So we're gonna get our EVA foam from somewhere else where we can get it smooth on both sides, and it'll help a lot, and we can get it in different thicknesses. But EVA foam is all over the place, and after you see this build and see what you can make with it, you're gonna be hooked. So make sure to subscribe and check out our other videos that show you all kinds of things you can make out of EVA foam. These are the ash wine corks. You get 42 of them. So hopefully you have more uses for corks. All right, so first up is the toy soldier hat. Now, we're going to be doing the main bucket part of the hat in our red 2mm, as well as the braided gold braided pieces here. We'll be doing out of the red 2mm and be painting it gold. Then we're going to be doing the brim here out of our black 4mm EVA foam, as well as the chin strap, and as well as the little buttons. So this one is mostly EVA foam, and let's hop to it. You guys are going to see how cool EVA foam can be. All right, so to glue these pieces together, I'm going to use contact cement. You're welcome to do that. It is a little bit stinky, and you'll want to do it in a well-ventilated area. Or have respirator masks to protect yourself so you're not breathing in those fumes. If you're not wanting to use contact cement, you can definitely use hot glue for this as well. You can just rip off a scrap piece of your EVA foam to use to spread the contact cement nice and thin. Also, I like to use these little bottles to put the contact cement in so that I have a tiny little top to just squeeze it out of. But if you got it in the little bottle, it has a brush and things that you can use as well. So that works great too. If you want to do it with hot glue and get the good clean seams and everything like that, I'll link to a video right up here by my buddy Chris over at Lost Wax. And he has a great video on using hot glue and getting clean seams. So this isn't a necessary step, but if you want to, something really cool about EVA foam is you can heat it up using like a heat gun or something like that, and then you can actually press shape into it. So with these buttons, I'm actually just giving them kind of a little bit more of a domed shape just by simply heating them up and pressing a back of a screwdriver into them so that they just have that extra little flair. So this is the Plat Effects gold coin that we're using here. Plat Effects paint is a little bit misleading off the bat. It won't look like it's covering super well, or it might look a little transparent, but actually as it dries, you'll really start to see the color come in. So just let it dry and it'll all be good. The hat is done. Woo, woo, woo. All right. Let's move on to the sword. So the pieces we need are the blade, the guard, the handle, and the pommel. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the blade and have what's called a tang on it. This will be out of our 4mm EVA foam. So we'll trace this shape out onto our foam, cut out 2 of that same shape so that we can sandwich a little wire in between to help make the blade a little bit sturdier. And then we'll slim it down to a little tang here. And then we'll create this little guard out of some 4mm EVA foam as well. That will be a nice little decorative piece. And then we'll just have a little slot in it on either side that will slide up around this tang. And we'll slide the first part in, and then we'll slide a piece of PVC pipe for the handle, 3/4 inch PVC pipe, up over so it has a nice round handle. And then this other side of the guard will slide up onto the tang as well. The last little bit of the tang, we'll put on a little pommel, which is just an end cap to a piece of PVC pipe that we'll put on the end, and we'll just sand off any of the details that are on that to make it look like it's actually a pommel and not a piece of PVC pipe. All right, so that's the plan. Let's hop to it. All right, so with your 2 sword pieces cut that are symmetrical, draw a line down the center, and this is the trickiest part, but it's also the part that makes this really work and have the sword have enough rigidity to it, but still be nice and thin. You're gonna give yourself a little bit of gap from the end, and then start a line right down the center on one side. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna just cut what's called a V groove. So you're gonna take your blade, you're going to go along that line with putting your blade in at an angle, and you cut, like a 45-degree angle, cut along that line at that angle, and then flip it around and cut at a 45 on the other side of the line all the way down. It'll create a little V groove in the middle. You don't want to cut all the way through. You're just cutting down into the foam a little bit, just kind of digging out a little channel for you to be able to fit a piece of wire in here in the middle, that when we sandwich these two together, it's going to stiffen up this sword blade. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and get this sword glued together, and then we'll be able to start creating the other pieces to this and adding those on as well. So here we go. If you're not comfortable with trying to cut a V-groove in it, you can also take a wood burning tool if you have one like this, or a soldering iron or something like that, and you can just run that along that line, and that will kind of burn in a little groove for you as well that you can use. Okay, so this is really cool. Nice, simple, flat shape. Just kind of cut it out, add some cool details and stuff like that. And then what's going to happen is when we slide this onto the tang, and then we'll slide our handle on here, which is our PVC pipe, and then we'll add the other part of our tang, or the other part of our guard, on below that handle, and then that'll kind of create our sword here. Now, I want this to kind of wrap around the hand a little bit more. So what I can do, I can just heat this up with the heat gun, and then I can actually shape it and give it some more curve, and then it'll hold that shape. So I'm going to play with that a little bit. I'm going to curve this up and kind of curve this around a little bit more, just to kind of add some more shape to that. And then after that, we'll be able to start painting it. Okay, so what I decided to do was actually take these that I drew coming up here like this, and I'm going to actually cut this along here, and then I'm going to kind of round these off a little bit more, and then I'm going to glue them overlapping on top just to give some more dimension and be able to like pull these in and wrap them around just a little bit more as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just to kind of add a little bit of extra flair for it. You can do this however you want, but I'm thinking this is going to look pretty cool. Yeah! Oh, that's looking so cool. This is made out of craft foam. EVA foam. How cool is that? Alright, so we're going to make the stock out of our 6mm EVA foam, and we'll stack it in a couple layers and glue that together. And then for these little straps here that wrap around the barrel, we're going to use our 4mm foam, our 4mm EVA foam. For this part of the barrel, we'll do a wooden dowel, and then right here, this will be 3/4 inch PVC pipe for this part of the barrel. And we'll paint that silver, and then we'll have the cork with a string that runs through it that hooks into the wood dowel, and we will have our little popping cork. So we'll have the stock piece here. We'll have our dowel, and then we'll have the PVC pipe that'll fit on here, and then these little straps will kind of strap it down. We'll glue it from underneath as well, but we'll also just kind of run these over like little metal straps that loop around and then attach to our little base piece here. So, and then this will slide on like that, and then we'll have our little cork in the end. So I think drilling our cork is going to be the next thing. Run your string through the cork, cut it at about 10 inches or so. All right, so we got the cork tapered down, the string run through it, tied onto here, so it just pops back into place each time. I got a little carried away with this one and was trying to pull it in there nice and tight to get a good pop sound with that cork, and realized that we probably got the wrong string. So instead of a cotton string, we need more of like a nylon string that's going to have a lot better tensile strength. So we need to switch that out, but it's coming together. It's looking great. Just got to finish gluing this together and we'll be good to go. All right, so we're gonna experiment with trying to add a wood grain to this. We'll see how it goes. We may do it or may not. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, so it's all put together. Now is the time for the satisfying part where we get to use the pop gun and it pops. So we pull that back and then, well, hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's not making that satisfying pop sound, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that. But anyway, it's looking cool. Let's figure that out, and then we'll call it done. Okay, so what we did was just created a little gasket here out of some 4mm EVA foam, What the Foam, and screwed that in to just kind of create some more suction that's happening in the pipe as we pull back. So you can see that right there, and let's give it a try. Yeah! All right, it's working. All right, we did it. Look at this. We got all three. We got the sword, the pop gun, and these awesome hats. Hopefully you enjoyed this and it inspired you to make some fun Christmas crafts. And if you love the idea of making stuff out of EVA foam and how easy it can be, make sure to subscribe. We have tons of videos on how to make stuff out of EVA foam. And if you want to support our channel, buying our EVA foam on Amazon is a great way to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Cosplay on, my friends. See ya. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. Don't burn yourself on hot glue.